All right, 25 Forester. This is a touring model. We're going to go through all the basic features, everything you need to know to get going in your new car. Or if you're looking at one, you know, everything you should know before you come in for your test drive. So touring is the top of the line model with Subaru. They have everything on it. This Forester here has the nicer wheels. It's got the lower profile roof rails versus what you might find on a premium, which is going to look like this. Of course, you get smaller wheels on the premium as well. Bigger, different design over here on the touring. Totally redesigned for 25. It's pretty sleek. You know, the biggest design complaints in the last model were comfort and styling, so they made this one look a lot sleeker. And now that we're inside, most of these cars are going to be push button start except for the base models with Subaru. So as long as you have the key on you again, you're going to put your foot on the brake. This little button over here turns green, and there you go. Car starts up for you. It's going to go through its cycles. I mean, this menu over here is going to pop up every time. You can hit agree or not, whatever. We're going to take over here on the door, pretty self-explanatory. You're going to find your window controls and your mirror controls. Okay. Down at the bottom here, you have your window lock button in case you don't want your passengers opening the door. I'm sorry, the windows. Rear window controls, front window controls, which are automatic up and down. You push it once, it goes all the way. You want to close it, you pull up one time, let go, there you go. That works on both front windows. For the mirrors, also lock buttons here. For the mirrors, you pick left or right. I'm going to pick left here, and then it's a joystick. So you just joystick it around like a video game. Okay, and then to lock it, once you're done, you put it right back in the middle, and then you can't move it. All right. A few buttons down here by your left knee when you're driving. The first one over here to the left just opens and closes the tailgate. If you're in park, you just hold it down. Get some beeps, lights will blink, it'll open. And then to close it, same thing in reverse. Okay. To the right of that, you have the slider thing here. That is for the dashboard screens. If they're too bright or too dark, you can adjust those. Okay. The two circles are full of brightness. This one here is for the tailgate memory and for the kick sensor. You'll notice that at the top of this button, there's a little white line there. That's in the out position. When you push it, it latches. You can't see that white line. If you want the kick sensor to work, you got to have it out. Also, your height memory means that if you're parked, say you're camping under a tree, and when you open that tailgate, it hits the tree limb, you can actually program it to stop wherever you want. So if you're under that tree, or before you get under that tree, open your tailgate, pull it down slowly to where you want it to stop. Hold the close button till you hear a few beeps, and that'll save that memory. Now, if you want that memory active, you also have to have this white line. Otherwise, if you push it in, it's just going to open all the way. Okay, so usually I just keep mine out. Now, the steering wheel on these Subarus looks pretty busy, but it's really not that bad once you figure out, you know, what's going on. So over here on this side is going to be all media controls. These arrows that you have up here at the top are going to go between radio presets only, which on this car you can save up to 18. So that's, you know, quite a bit of channels there on those arrows. But if you only save 2, this is only going to go between 2 different stations. Source, AM, FM, satellite radio, your phone, whatever media options are available. This button rifles through those in a circle. Always ends up back at the same spot you started if you keep going. These here, this is changed for the 25 Forester. These used to be down here. But still, these arrows just change what you see on this middle screen up here. The first page is going to be your range on the bottom in mileage based on your driving style. So, you know, that can change based on who's driving the car. Top one's real-time miles per gallon, or miles per gallon based on your trip, A or B. Next one's time and temperature outside. Whatever's going on in your media controls. Your GPS system, if you have that active on your Forester. Compass, tire pressure, which is always going to look blank like this when you first start the car. It takes about 5 minutes, 5 miles to register. Then you'll get some real numbers there. And if you need to know what the numbers should be, they're listed inside the door jamb on every single Subaru on the driver's side. And then this one's interesting. So you see that symbol with the half circle around it and the arrow. That's for the auto start stop system. So if you've experienced a car shutting down at the stoplights in order to save you some fuel or gas, that's what that's for. So whenever the engine shuts down, these numbers start counting up over the entire lifetime of the vehicle. And then lastly, what you have here, this one just says we started the car 5 minutes ago and we haven't moved yet. So that'll restart every time you, restart the car. then we're kind of back to the main page there. Also over here, you do have your phone controls. So this one will pick up your phone call, and this one will hang up your phone call or mute the radio. The whole sound system can be muted. When you hit it, you also get this little symbol up here letting you know it's been muted. Okay. This is your voice command button. Whenever you hit that, you'll get this screen that pops up. And up here in blue are your categories. You have a couple more here too. If you select one of your categories, it'll tell you what the words are that the car can understand. So turn music on. You can do all kinds of stuff like that. Pretty cool.
Canceling.
And then down here at the bottom is just your volume for the sound system, whether it's a phone call or the radio. Now over here are some active safety features that do require a little bit of your input. The first one at the top here is the adaptive cruise control. When you hit that, the screen up here changes to let you know it's been activated. The white symbols here mean that the system is armed and ready, but it hasn't been set or you haven't told it really what to do yet. So at this point, we have two safety features on actually. That's the adaptive cruise control and the lane centering. We see both features. You can use one by itself. You can use the cruise by itself, but you can also turn on the lane centering there if you want it. Now, to talk about the cruise control first, if you've never used adaptive cruise control has the ability to see the car in front of you and space you out. And if that car slows down, you'll slow down to maintain your preset distance. Now, the distance is represented by those white lines in front of the image of the car there. The most you can do by coming over here is up to 4 lines, or you can go down to 3. Down to 1. Now, it's all based on speed. So each line is going to space you out a little bit more while you're on the highway because the car knows you need more time to stop while you're moving faster. So one line's about 4 or 5 car lengths on the highway, so that's pretty good distance, or you can do more. Now, even if that car in front of you comes to a complete stop, like getting off an exit or coming to a stoplight, this car will stop in the same manner as that car. It'll hold you for a minute or two, and then it'll release you. Now, once you set your cruise control by hitting down here, you'll see your preset speed or your locked on speed right where those 3 dashes are under the 0 here. And then your car will be keeping you at the same speed, looking out for the cars ahead of you. And since you have your lane centering on, the cameras up here, there's cameras in the car up here. They're actually going to be looking for good lines on the road. If they're there and the car can see them, the gray lines on the picture of your car are going to turn white, and then the car is actively steering you in the center of the lane. Now, even if you go to change lanes, it's always going to let you go. It might fight you a little bit, but if you use your turn signal, it'll let you go freely, no intervention, and then once you turn it back off, it'll lock onto the new lines if they're there, and it'll take over again. Now, none of the features here that do lane change assist or lane keeping assist or anything like that are ever going to force you to stay in your lane. So rest assured, like if something happens in front of you, you need to get out of your lane real quick, it's just going to let you go. It might beep and try to nudge you, but you just keep going and you'll be fine. Okay. Now, below those safety features there are 2 throttle modes. Your S is for sport, I is for intelligent, or that's kind of Subaru's eco mode, and that's represented up here. Next to the gear that you're in, you see the little I in the brackets. That's your intelligent mode. Now, to show you the difference, sport mode, that yellow line there versus this blue one, sport mode's a little sharper. So you're going to get a little harsher of a throttle response there, a little more acceleration. Okay. And then on this model and some of the others, you do have a heated steering wheel. This thing down here, you pull it towards you, and it's got this little yellow light to let you know. It does heat the whole entire steering wheel. It feels fantastic in the winter. It heats up real nice and quick. You're going to love it. Now, coming up here, a few things I like to point out. These 2 buttons are very important. So you do have this blue button and this red button. Your sales consultant should at least sign you up for the free 3-year trial of the Starlink Safety Plus package, and that makes this blue button your roadside assistance, and they'll tow you anywhere in North America to the closest Subaru dealership. This one's going to be for emergency, so medical, paramedics, police, stuff like that. They'll help you out. Now on the Touring, we have this really sweet mirror here. So not only is it a mirror, but there's also a camera in the back window. So if you have a bunch of cargo in the car and you can't see out the back, you flick this down, and right now it's just a grassy hill behind us, but that is showing an image of a camera out the back. Now that's only on the Touring here. Okay, now keep in mind, this mirror here does not have the home link. It doesn't have the built-in garage door opener. So for now, if you're going with the Touring, you're going to get this cool camera mirror, but it's not going to have your home link functions for garage door opening. Now coming down to the screen here, on the outside, there are some buttons. Here's your hazards. your blinkers. This is for volume and mute. Front defrost. Also does the windshield wiper de-icer, which is the metal strips built into the windshield. Driver's side of the vehicle temperature here, which you'll see right down here. And then over here, you don't see it right now, but seatbelt and airbag reminders will come up here in red and yellow. Tune will change your radio station. This button here does front defrost and your side mirrors if you have ice on them. And then the passenger side of the vehicle here. Okay. Now, onto the screen, one of the things that used to be hard in these Subaru cars was changing the time for some reason. Now, it's become very easy. You click on the time, you set it up how you want, and there you go. You can even have it connected to your phone. Okay. The top portion of the screen will stay wherever you left it, even if you go into a different app. Okay. We got to do this one more time. Okay, so the first one's just going to be kind of what's going on your radio or media, and that's a button too. So if you want to get to the radio quick, you can click on that if you're not there already. Home screen button. Now the second page, you can swipe or use the arrow, is going to be your navigation instructions. Next one is going to be some engine characteristics. Now you can pick in either one of these three areas. If you wanted to customize what you see, you pick either one of these three here, and then you can change it. You have a few different options there. The next one, I believe, is the weather. Now that's some of the weather functions go away after your satellite radio subscription, but you should at least have this forecast here, I believe, forever. You will have to go into the app and change your location if you're looking for the weather as you're traveling, or if you're driving into new areas. You'll have to update that. And then, of course, the next one, this used to be down here in the middle, but now the X mode is on the screen. So if you ever do get stuck in this car, which you probably never will because it's a Subaru with the best all-wheel drive in the world, but if you do, you can come in here and turn on your X mode, and it'll help you get unstuck. It does some technical things with the throttle response and transmission response, but you as the driver, Subaru's done all that work and research for you. So you turn it on, you drive like normal, it's going to help you get unstuck. Once you hit 25 miles per hour, it'll deactivate and stay in standby mode for a little bit, but if you're over 25 miles per hour for too long, it'll deactivate completely, and it won't kick back on once you drop below about 15. But that's there if you need it. You might never need it. Some models have the built-in GPS system. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you also get Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay on every vehicle except for the base, which still needs a wire. But that'll also display the GPS system from your phone. So you don't necessarily need these maps, but these are cool to have in case you need it. It's built-in GPS. Then you have your radio. Pretty self-explanatory. You click on the radio button. At the top, you have your FM, AM satellite radio. You can change your stations here. Once you get to the station that you like, you hold it down in any number. And there you go. FM 950 doesn't seem to be much, but it's now saved to preset number 1. Okay. You also, like I said, have on all the Subarus have 4 months of satellite radio for free. So once you go there, it should already be active. You can save your satellite radio stations down here in any order next to your AM and FM stations, and when you come over to your arrows here, it'll still go between those stations. Keep in mind that after your satellite radio subscription expires, if you do have those presets saved here in your banks down here, when it goes to those stations, it'll kind of tell you that it's a trial and you don't have a subscription anymore, so you'll have to reprogram those. The media tab here is where you're going to find things that, like if you pick up your phone and you start playing something through a phone app without your CarPlay, you'll see it here. Or if you plug in your USB, it'll be here. You've got a few other things, but if you are using your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you'll probably never go into this tab. I've had multiple Subarus with this, and I've never needed it because I've always had a smartphone. Now another thing, obviously the car has the ability to connect through Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that's going to do all of your phone software, your phone calls, messaging, everything like that. But if you don't want to do the wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, you can still use your phone to do phone calls and things like that. We're not hooked up at the moment, but if you are hooked up, it just kind of brings you to where you can select your phone book. You have a number pad where you can call somebody. You can even use your voice commands to make phone calls at that point too. Now, if you are connected to CarPlay or Android Auto, that's going to make it possible to use Siri in the car. You can be driving and just say, "Hey Siri, navigate to home," or "Hey Siri, play some good Bruce Springsteen," or whatever you like to listen to, and it'll it'll work for you. Pretty cool. A couple different ways to do it. So we're not going to add a device now. Now the apps button here, there's not a tremendous amount of stuff in there. The travel link is another place to see your weather forecast. We've got your phone softwares here and your My Subaru app, which goes with the Subaru Starlink subscription. And from this side of the app, you'll only be able to call for roadside assistance or schedule a service appointment, just in case you're out there on the road and you need to get some quick service. The next thing here, which I'm not going to go into, is your settings menu. It's a lot like on your phone if you have a smartphone. Language, brightness, display. There's some network options. There's navigation options, ways to add favorites to your navigation system. All the things in there are actually pretty self-explanatory, but if you have an in-depth question about anything in those menus, please leave a comment below and I'll be sure to do my best to answer it. Now this is kind of a cool page. If you click on car info, the first page is kind of just pretty pictures, which will let you know with a bunch of cool colors here, your all-wheel drive's working properly once you're driving. And down here you'll see like the pitch and angle of the vehicle, which is cool. A lot of people like to take their Subarus off-road, so that's nice for them. But this page here is really useful. So if you do have the Starlink My Subaru app, this will communicate with the app and let you know when your services are getting close to due. Now, I always tell customers your service advisor is supposed to come in here and hit reset when they're done with your service, but just come in here after you pick up your vehicle from the dealership and check that they did that in case you want accurate readings. Okay? Display off, pretty self-explanatory, just like holding this knob down over here. It turns the whole screen black. In case you're on a trip and you're just sick and tired of looking at all those colors and everything, you just want to turn it off, you can do that too. Now, just like on your phone, you can swipe and you have a second page. So valet mode, if you do ever give your car to somebody to park for you or drive and you don't want them messing with your stuff, you hit on that there. You make a brand new code every time. And there you go. It's going to lock out all your features. Okay, and then to deactivate, you turn it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. Back to where you started. Okay. Now, also on the second page here, this is a cool thing. New for some of the Foresters, but it's been on them for a while, but now it's just here. It used to be down in the middle. That's the auto vehicle hold function. So that's this one here. Now, it's always there, but it's also always here. So this button, no matter where you go here, is a little bit more useful. So just know it's there. So what that does is it's a brake hold. That picture is actually brake rotors and brake pads. So if you have the green light on, you also have the green light up here in the dash. And what that means is anytime you come to a complete stop, that'll start blinking. And once it's blinking, you don't have to hold your foot on the brake anymore. It's going to hold you in place until you tap your brake to maybe, just slide up a little bit. Or if you're ready to go, you can just hit the gas and off you go. Great feature. It's worth trying out. I'm not an old, I'm 35 years old. I love that feature. I love the amount of energy it saves me while I'm on the road. Give it a shot. I think you'll like it. And then also on the second page here, you have your VDC, which is kind of like Subaru's traction control. That's what gives Subaru's all-wheel drive, such a great reputation. It lets all the wheels kind of talk to each other and move torque and power around, so it's in the right place when you need it. And you can also add a shortcut here. Just for example, we'll add a sound settings one because that's one I mess with a lot. Sound settings. So now instead of hitting 4 or 5 buttons to get to a menu, it's one button away and there's all your sound settings. Okay, that's nice. Now if you do make a shortcut, or just like any of the other icons on here, you hold them down. And you can drag them between screens if you want to, just like on your phone, or to delete them. Drag them to the bottom and let go. There you go. Okay, pretty cool. You can move the apps between the screens, but you can't delete any of these main apps, but you can move them if you don't need them. Now this car button here is pretty cool. This is going to be mostly vehicle functions and some passive safety features. So a lot of these things, if you've ever been in a Subaru before that didn't have this big screen, these things were kind of spread out in buttons all over the car, but they bring them all here together. So another place for VDC, another place for X mode. Cruise control acceleration is how fast or how slow do you want it to speed up or slow down when you hit this plus or minus over here. Okay. The standard mode's pretty good. Dynamic's going to be much faster acceleration. Eco's going to be slower. Another place for your AVH, your auto vehicle hold, but remember it's here too. Okay, and then this is the only place you're going to find this function on our vehicles. That's the steering responsive headlights. So as you move the steering wheel, the lights move in the same direction to show you where you're going just a little bit better. And then here again, you have the auto start stop, which is also always right here. Okay. Now, this one here, I always tell people is the most important page on the vehicle. It used to be buttons like up here on the headliner, but now it's in here. So driving assistance is all your passive safety features. Passive meaning all they need is to be on, and they're going to do what they need to do for you. So pre-collision braking, all based on size, shape, and color. This car can see an obstacle on the road, and if it notices that you are not reacting, it can react for you, slowing you down to prevent as much damage as possible, or hopefully even preventing that accident altogether. Now, even if you are braking, if you're not braking hard enough, the car is going to add more braking pressure. The cameras have the ability to see how far away that obstacle is, do some math based on how fast you're moving, and it can tell how much brake pressure you should be applying. That's a fantastic feature. The lane departure is unlike lane centering. Lane departure is going to let you drive freely within your lane. It's not going to do anything at all until you drive over that line, whether it be by mistake or you're just changing lanes. But it can do one of two things. So it can either buzz at you. Really, it's kind of just a beep, 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 beep. Or you can have it correct you, or you can have it do both. Now, if you have this function on, and you use your turn signal, it's not going to beep at you or try to correct you. But if you try to leave your lane without a turn signal, just like the lane centering, it will beep at you and try to correct you, but it's never going to force you to stay just in case it's a situation where you have to get out of there real quick. Okay. And then below that, we have our blind spot detection, which is going to be a nice yellow light over here. It's kind of hard to see where we're sitting right now, but it's this little nub up here. It turns yellow when somebody's in your blind spot. Also works in reverse. If somebody's moving perpendicular to the vehicle, it'll let you know which side they're coming from by illuminating the right light based on the side. Now, the driver monitoring system is pretty cool. That up in here, in the top of here, there's a sensor, and it can actually look at the shape of your face. So the driver monitoring system has the ability to notice who's in the car. And let's say it's a really, really long drive and you haven't had coffee in a while and you're getting a little tired and you start to get a little drowsy and you're dozing off. The car can go beep, 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 beep. It'll show you a little picture of a coffee cup in here. It'll let you know, hey, maybe it's time to take a break. Or if you're looking out the window for too long, say another cool Subaru comes by and you want to check it out, if you're looking out there for too long, it can also notice and let you know, hey, keep your eyes on the road. So that's this driver monitoring system. It's fantastic. It's a great, great feature. Okay. And then over here you have another page for more settings, just in case you like to go, over the border, and maybe they're going to be using different units of measurement like kilometers per hour and liters and things like that. You can come in here and change that as well, and it'll change it all over the vehicle. So anywhere you'd see miles per hour, it would then change to kilometers per hour. Pretty helpful. Okay. And then we already went over the AVH button, brake hold, auto start stop. That's the one that shuts down at the stoplights if you don't like it. But even if you turn that off, it's going to default back to on every time you restart the car. So you're going to have to turn that off each and every time if you don't like it. Over here, this is a phone settings button. That's another place you can go to add phones and switch between phones if you want a different one to be active. Now, you can have multiple phones on here at the same time. You can have an Apple and an Android connected at the same time. You'll just have to come back and forth and tell it which one's going to be active. And then you have the driver profile over here. If you want to create a driver profile, let's say you have multiple different people driving the car often, you can have different settings saved to different driver profiles. Pretty cool. And you can even have it set up to when the car recognizes your phone, it can change that profile, set your seats, set your mirrors. You can have all that stuff done. Now that's on the touring model, so some of the lower models might not have that. Now, also for the HVAC controls, we'll look at that again. Since it's the touring model, we have the ventilated seats. They're 3 levels, just like the heated seats. Now, the first time you click, it goes to 3. You see 3 little dots there. Now, you can either go 1, 2, 3 to turn it off, or you can hold it for a second and let go, and that'll turn it off. Same thing with the heated seats. If you want them on or off, you just kind of hold them. Okay. Let's see here. Now, in most of these Foresters, except for the base models, you now have a wireless phone charger. It's going to have a green light as long as it's ready to go. Once you lay your phone down on there, that light should turn solid orange if it's charging, and you'll even see your phone react. If for some reason it doesn't react, let's try taking your phone out. Maybe you need a different case. It could be interfering with the charging aspect of that thing there. Okay. Transmission's pretty self-explanatory. They've always been the same in cars. I do like how Subaru is sticking with these things. They're not changing to buttons or dials or anything like that. These feel great, and I love them, and I'm glad they still do it. Parking brake, you'll see another symbol here with the brake pads and rotors. So to activate that foot on the foot brake, pull it up. You'll get a little red light letting you know it's on, and it'll also say park in the dash. To deactivate, foot on the brake and push down, and there you go. You're ready to go. Now, being that this is a touring model, you have this extra button right here. Otherwise, this is just a blank. This car has a few great camera options. So if you hit view, while you're in park, really all it's going to show you is this cool kind of like overhead, like final resting place video. But for example, let's throw it into reverse real quick. When you're in reverse, it's going to give you all these cool, backup cameras and angles and stuff. And this has reverse automatic braking too. So this little picture down here, all these little boxes will light up in different colors as you get closer to things, and you'll even see you'll hear some beeping as well. RAB, reverse automatic braking, is on, and you have your backing up noises on too. Those are the buttons to turn those off. Now, if you hit your view button, you can cycle through the different cameras. They can be different sizes. Very, very cool, very accurate. I know this is strange for people sometimes, but these cameras are fantastic, and you're going to love it. If you do go with the touring, absolutely fantastic for parking. All right, let's see. You do have this old school cigarette lighter charger here if you do prefer to use an old school GPS, or if you have one of those old school cigarette lighters, that still works. Nice big compartment in here. No change tray anymore, but it's nice and deep. If you need to put something in there, you can. Now that's about all the buttons and most of the features here on one of these 25 Foresters. Just a quick run through. Of course, I'm not trying to keep you all day. If you have any in-depth questions, please leave a comment below. Ken Ganley, Westside Subaru, North Olmsted, Ohio. My name's Dylan. I'm more than happy to help out. Come on in, and we'll see if we can get you in a new Subaru. Thanks. Please subscribe.